I am speaking today on God's plans for my life because I believe very much that God has plans for every life that is yielded to Him. There are no accidents, neither where we are born, who our families are, what nations we come from. God has plans for every life that is yielded to Him. When I entered the university many years ago, I took with me the words of Psalm 139, and those words have stuck with me ever since. This is what the first part says. O Lord, you search me and know me. You know my sitting down and my rising up. You understand my thought afar off. You comprehend my path and my lying down, and are acquainted with all my ways. Some of us tend to believe that God is far off and that He doesn't really know and doesn't really care. But as David reveals in this psalm, God knows us intimately. He knows every thought, every action, every dream, every hope, every motivation of every human being, and especially those who love Him. And that's wonderful. God cares about me. He thinks about me. And David declares later in this psalm how intimately God has planned out the days of our lives, expressing His hope and His desires for each one of us. In verse 13, David wrote, "For you form my inward parts. You covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in secret, and skillfully wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Your eyes saw my substance being yet unformed, and in your work they all were written, the days fashioned for me." Because of modern medicine, we know far more than David ever could have guessed about how fearfully and wonderfully made the human body is. In a sense, every cell is a universe within us of complexity. More marvelous than any factory ever made by man is every cell in our bodies. And yet God has plans for us. They're not automatic. But as we seek Him, as we desire Him, as we express to Him our hope that and choice that we want to do His will, I do believe that He reveals to us His plans. I came into my university at Yale as a freshman, wanting to serve the Lord, wanting to be a Christian, but not entirely decided. And in one particular day in the morning, a friend of mine said to me, "Chris, you're an undecided person. You're like a person with your feet in two boats, one in the kingdom of heaven and one in the world. And you have to make up your mind who you're going to serve, because those boats are going to separate and you're going to be torn apart." That was the worst day of my life, and I was in misery the rest of that day. But I prayed and I sought God, and at 1:15 in the morning on a Sunday morning at Yale, I said to the Lord, "Not my will, but yours be done." And then I fell sound asleep. When I woke up in the morning, I was dancing because I knew I had made that great decision, that I had chosen to do God's will and to walk in the way of His plans for my life and not another. You see, every one of us has that choice to make. Will we live by our own ideas, by our own plans, or will we cry out to the living God, "Show me now your ways, your thoughts, which are as high above mine as the heavens are above the earth"? Those plans that God has made for us are wonderful, as the prophet Jeremiah declared in chapter 29, verses 11 through 13. "For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. Then you will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart." God bless you.